live in a second here. Unfortunately, I here with 7 here. It's all right, looks like we're live. Well, one of the things that I have been thinking the roles. I've talked a lot about how AI to many industries and many careers, and we need to know more specifically about what is it that we and how do we think that we so what I did again, as I did last time, is I actually have to share that right now is recap many of the things that we've already spoken about, and those things, of course, being I wanna make sure, I wanna make sure, those things, of course, being what skills are going to be needed going forward, and then, of course, understanding from those skills, why are they going to be subject to automation? So let's take a look at the PowerPoint presentation that I put together. So again, I've been saying in the age of AI and automation, what do we think is going to happen? And to whom? To whom is really critical. I think that when we start looking at the problem solve of what skills are going to be demanded, and I understand this may not be going to Facebook. Facebook has recently changed their APIs. Ooh, so critical thinking is going to be a skill that's required in the future. How do we really think hard and good and objectively about an issue at hand so that we can really think about how we can solve it? Complex problem solving again is going to be another skill that's going to be needed. And that complex problem solving is how can I really accurately define a problem? Everyone says they're great critical thinkers. Everybody wants to be known as great problem solvers, but defining the problem, measuring it accurately and without bias, right? Identifying the root causes and potential solutions without inferring a cause nor solution are going to be critical. Data literacy is going to be vastly important. We have so much data out there, going out there, understanding the data. What does the data mean? And data literacy includes statistical thinking, understanding statistical data, which a lot of people you'll hear them say, I don't like data. I don't I don't like data. I'm not a data person. Well, you need to be a data person going forward. And not just a data person being able to calculate averages and graphs. You're going to also need to be able to understand statistics and answer questions, statistical questions based on that data. Data analytics is going to be important. We have so much data. How can we analyze that data and come up with new understanding and patterns? Keep in mind that data analytics is also going to be hugely augmented by AI and the power of machine learning and predictive analytics. The stuff that is occurring in that space is absolutely mind blowing. There are apps you can buy very inexpensively nowadays that you can train your data, right? You can and for sentiment type analysis very easily. You can look at that data and do predictive analytics in manufacturing. Predictive analytics and when to do equipment how to do when to do a maintenance on machines is going to be critical. Innovation, right? On how do we innovate purposely intent, innovate products that are more likely to be successful, and of course, we have strategic thinking. Everyone's a strategic thinker, right? So when you look at these skills, everyone will claim to have all these skills or at least some portion of the skills. But I guarantee you, if we were to sit down and have a conversation, and it would be a passive conversation, and I were to ask you a handful of questions on each one of these, you might feel like, you may think differently about those skills, if you will. So, what are the jobs that are going to be affected by AI? Now, there's been a lot of reports put out, recently generated from the bigger consulting firms, McKinsey, IBM, um, the Pew Institute did a fantastic report. All these reports on the skills and trades, the skills and tasks that are going to be basically at risk of AI. So one of them is the medical diagnostics and treatments. The ability of AI um, detect diseases and things in images is absolutely incredible. It's been around forever, but it's only getting more airplay now with the radiologists understanding what's going on there. Right. So that medical diagnosis is going to be critical. You can put in all your and this has already been done. So it's not like this is something new. People are already out there and that's what's actually occurring. So legal research and document review. Lawyers are at risk. Lawyers are at risk because anything that's basically codified and in standard is going to be subject to automation. Just think about it. Anything that's rules based, anything that existed in the past, there's in the European Union, there's huge concerns about admin jobs, right? Government admin jobs and things like that. People basically just answering questions or just doing rote codified things. So it's going to be hugely affected by that. Financial analysts and reporting, financial analysis and reporting, of course, is going to be affected. You in one Google sheet, you can upload all your financial statements, and if it's granular enough, you can have AI interpret it or year to year. I've seen some interesting results playing around and experimenting with financial statements in AI. Software development, we already know software development, software coders and developers are going to take this on a chin along with the project managers, right? You see project management down there on the list. The coding ability is getting better and better and better of AI. You'll see it writing code. I know of an organization that has AI built into it that they'll have, "Hey, give us your feature request." If you're a client of theirs and we're talking about software development, what is it that you're interested in? What kind of feature or functionality you're looking for? And you're talking to a bot, and the bot's asking for more description. And as you're talking to the bot is interpreting that into requirements and writing the code and then turning it over back to the team and saying, "Here was a request. Here's what we believe the code is, and here's that text stream." So coding is going to be really, really affected by this. Also, you've seen all those apps out there right now that can write Google Sheet scripts, Microsoft Excel scripts, and even now you can have Excel analyze the data even across multiple sheets. If you have multiple sheets and you have the appropriate headings, that'll work as well. Business intelligence and data analytics, of course, we have all that data that's going in there. Those people are going to be affected. If those are your jobs, just basic intelligence, you're gathering and reporting. Anybody who's just creating reports from data is basically, as Hillary Clinton would say, screwed. Cybersecurity, we're going to be able to detect abnormal attacks and abnormal activity on accounts. So predictive analytics, I love this one. The ability to do predictive analytics on the fly is amazing. It's bringing in the data, if you capture it in real term. So if you're in the field of predictive analytics and forecasting, mm, watch out there. Supply chain. The whole supply chain is being measured and monitored better, including the optimization scheduling. Imagine this if for some reason a truck broke down or got lost somewhere, we're able to redirect these supply chains in real life and automate it. So we're looking at these on the left-hand side right now, but these are things that are already in flight and are already having a major impact on on people working in these particular areas. Project management, I've been saying this a long time. Project management, task coordination is really, really in the crosshairs of AI. Anything that's scheduled, codified, and you can watch and move around, the um the apps can do a fantastic job. They link to Asana, Monday, any project management app. It is on it. It will alert people. It will do emails. It will even start the problem solving approach. Marketing and advertising, ChatGPT and the like are doing fantastic job making it easy to write code. So, we've been talking about this, and I'm going to continue to talk about these skills and tasks that are at risk. Now let's look on the other side here. This right side, contract review and management. Think about the government is full of people that do nothing but contract management and review. And imagine this, it will be able to also do fraud analytics on this, right? Look at these contracts. Is there collusion going on here? Why do these people always win these contracts? Are we really following the best practice standards? We're going to see if the government picks up on this. Writing content and creators, that goes back to marketing. You can it's amazing the research that can be done with AI to help augment your writing. Translation, we've already seen that the translation services that are being done. If you're into research and information, if that's your industry, holy cow, be careful. I have an app. It's called Cheat Layer, and you can code it, right? And it's an agent. It can launch multiple agents, and you can say, "Do this research, go to this website, bring it back." It will open it up. It will put it into a super database for you, and it will keep analyzing it until it gets all the information. And then when it gathers all the data, it will synthesize it for you, and you can ask questions of it. It's called Cheat Layer. Absolutely fantastic for research and information gathering. Recruitment and resume writing, that industry is pretty much going to be augmented. You're gonna be submitting your apps to a bot. Customer service and call centers. Now, the chat bots that I've seen come out recently are spectacular. I've been using chat bots for some sites, and it's been on one site in particular. It's trained on over half a gigabyte of information. And in that chat bot, I can't identify a unique individual. Your privacy is maintained, but I can see the question that's asked. And that question is basically like a prompt you would put in GPT, and I can see the response. I can download that weekly, analyze it, validate the results. I can come back and say, these results don't look quite right. Or I can feed it into another bot and say, improve my documentation so it's clearer. So think about what the chatbot's going to do for you. The chatbot is going to find out the questions that people are asking. Maybe you need further clarification on your documents and stuff like that. And it's self-learning. It gives a better response. It'll give a standard response. So that's very exciting. The chatbot stuff I love. Bookkeeping and accounting. Again, anything codified automatically categorize things. This will take it to the next level. It will even recommend subcategories for even more detailed analysis. Data entry and data processing, that's gone. Right? All this data entry and data processing, people is going to have self-service. There's going to be self-check-in. It'll go back and do emails, all sorts of great work there. Like I use a bunch of bots. I have, believe it or not, there are more than that out there. Most people just know of Chat GPT, Claude, Perplexity, Llama, Gemini Pro. I'm just like going down the list in my head. But a personal assistant in scheduling, you can upload or give it access to your calendar, and it will make recommendations for you in scheduling. It will keep you on task. It will haunt you until you get something done. Um, it can group tasks together for you as well as helping you identify things. There's a new app coming out that syncs up to your calendar, and it says you have a calendar coming up. You have an event coming up. Here's the agenda. Perhaps you need to prepare this, and this, these items in advance of the agenda. When you go live, it will record it on your end, the meeting, and then it will create a summary for you and an action list, right? Really great stuff. And it goes right into AI, and it can go right into your calendar and into your task list. Tutoring, teaching. Oh, you can learn anything in these chat GPTs now, especially if you give it the right prompting instructions. Writing prompts is going to be critical for you going forward. Now, why is it that these jobs are actually, vulnerable to AA? What is it about them? Right? That's the question. So you out there listening, you- you'll have to ask yourself these questions. Is my job repetitive and rules based? Anything that's repetitive and rules based can be codified essentially, can be written in code, those step by step instructions in ChatGPT or Llama or any of these AIs can take over that role. So anything that's repetitive and rules based, it's not good to be in that type of environment. So if you're like, I know the government in particular is full of people that do nothing but interpret policy and make calls and say, oh, no, well, according to this rule, this is what you have here. All that can be done easily with chatbot. Oh, no, we can't do this. It was our and it's getting better as the contacts windows get bigger. But you don't think human beings aren't error prone? Of course they are. So, I mean, that's this fallacy that we have that somehow we're saying that our people are better at making these complex document reviews than potentially AI, which has infinitely more memory and computing capable, if you will. Large volumes of data and data processing. Whereas we were coding that in the past, trying to go through data and sift through it, AI and machine learning is going to go right through that data really quickly. It'll learn it, it'll find out patterns, it'll do financial intelligence, business intelligence. I wrote a GPT, if you will, that may not be perfect, but it does this incredible strategic analysis. If you tell it your business, your industry, and your geographic location, it will more quickly and probably better than 99% of you do a 4 to 5 models analysis of that business and industry, do a pestle analysis, right? All those strategic thinkers out there, tell me you're a strategic thinker. How many of you have done a pestle analysis recently? They'll do a blue ocean strategy analysis on it. It will do a scenario planning analysis on it, and it will do a SWOT analysis. And I built a couple other things in there as well. So it can quickly, it goes out to the web, it searches it, and I'm telling you, the results have been phenomenal. I've actually ran that bot on other strategies as a strategy and change consultant that we spent tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars developing, and this bot did just as good as job instantaneously. Pattern recognition, wherever we have to look at pattern recognitions and prediction, like in healthcare and legal documents and supply chain, anything any type of role that includes recognizing pattern, doing predictions, subject to this AI beast. Natural language processing, of course. With natural language processing, you can give it huge volumes of data and just ask it questions. There are great apps out there, such as Athenic, such as Conduit AI, that allow you to connect to over 500 sources of data and use APIs, and you can bring it in and you can synthesize it, you can merge it however you want, and ask it in natural language, well, give me the top 5 distributors for this product, and then break it down by total cost, and it will bring back the data for you. It will answer it and give you and make graphs and reports. And anything that's codifiable or decision making, when we say codify, you can put it as something that's rules based again. So repetitive and rules based as well as codifiable, those are the types of skills and activities that are really going to be subject to the AI and automation. So I just thought, since I've been talking so much about this, you know, let's be clear about what roles, and then the roles that are immediately that are getting whacked or being really affected by AI right here. And this doesn't even list some of them. Consulting industry is going to take it on the chin as well, right? Where you bring in consultants to do things and teach you things, and they basically have a framework. The frameworks are going to be learned, and a lot of the information is going to already be out there. For instance, one of the things I'm really interested is in lean, and sometimes you hear lean manufacturing and stuff. There's a sequential framework that you can use in a generalized framework, and you can just take pictures or videotape of your area if you want it, and say, "Hey, I want to start. What are some of the key things I could start to implement?" And it can interpret the video. It understands, like, and I use lean because it's a simple framework. Everyone says, "Oh, well, it's top down driven and this and that." Most of it isn't. Right? Let's be real for ourselves. And it can make instant recommendations about what to do, how to do it, create templates. Absolutely amazing absolutely amazing and fascinating stuff. And here, again, if your job wasn't listed or your career wasn't listed here, take a look at these. Or if you're responsible for improving customer satisfaction, reducing the cost of goods sold, or looking at margins, these are the things that you should start looking for. Look for roles that are repetitive and rules based. Perfect opportunity for AI, where large volumes of data are being processed and sifted through. Perfect for AI. Anything that requires pattern recognition and prediction. Perfect for AI. Start thinking about it. Using natural language processing, getting all your data. If you were to take your data or your operations data and put it into one of these large language models that can be trained. And there's private ones and there's public ones, and people are going to say it's dangerous to put our business knowledge out there. Do you think that employee that's walking out the door is not taking it with them? What's more dangerous, right? So, and remember, there's going to be all sorts of increases in security. So these jobs, repetitive, rules-based, large volumes of data and data processing, pattern recognition and prediction, natural language processing, right? It's going to be really take over and help understand that, and then codifiable knowledge. Anything that is going to be rules based. Think about the IRS. That's going to be rules based. In this case, blah blah blah. What is what can we do? And then, of course, the decision-making capabilities, especially, like, I come back again to, um, like public sector type organizations that are very rules-based, and you gotta if this, then that, very clear what gets done. That's perfect opportunity for giving that to a bot or using machine learning or something along those lines. So just to keep following, I just wanted to follow up on some of those other ideas I've been thinking about. So again, critical thinking, that's always going to be in demand, right? Complex problem solving, that's always going to be in demand. Data literacy, even more so with the advent of a big data, right? Data analytics, of course. How do we analyze data? It sounds almost contrarian, though. You heard me say earlier, prediction, right? Pattern recognition. Well, data analytics also looks at sifting through and finding that needle in the haystack, if you will. So if you're doing that, you can have AI looking for all sorts of stuff, but you're still going to have this a need to figure out what data to join, how to join it, understand that the nuances of the data, innovation and strategic thinking. But as I was thinking about this, and I'm like, how can I leverage this and how can you leverage this going forward? I start thinking about the markets, right? I've always said I don't understand why accounting and bookkeeping has to be so complex. It seems fairly rule driven. I always said that Jeff Bezos at Amazon should just do bookkeeping, right? If you make all your purchases through me and your sales through me, will make keeping your books easy, right? Because think about it, bookkeeping is a non-value added function, especially in the terms of if you're in lean, you'll get what I mean by that. So thinking about what we can do in this area. So recently I've been speaking with a lot of digital marketers. I happen to love statistics and advanced analytical techniques, and I've been consumed. I mean, literally consumed with understanding how people write ads, like digital marketing ads, like Google, where you have a lot of data, a Google ad, a Bing ad, an ad on Yahoo, and how can they tell which ads performed well? Right, so you might write 2 different ads and do A/B testing. I always said A/B testing is for rookies, right? It should be ABCDE testing. So I've been thinking and following up with these digital marketers and these agencies, and I've discovered this analytical. I haven't discovered quickly run, let's say we ran 4 different Google ads. There might which type which thing in that ad had the greatest impact on conversions. So I've been asking around and talking to folks about this, and they haven't been and people are like, "Oh, no, I use this. I can do A/B testing and stuff like that." But I said, "What if you changed 4 things on an ad and you did A/B testing, right? How can you really know which one of those 4 had the greatest impact or which ones, didn't cancel each other's out?" But there's a technique to do that, right? I can write a bot to do that, and I think that's going to be my little side project going forward is, how can I take using 1 extra tool, 2 extra tools, accelerate the results of digital marketing conversion, or take somebody who's reached their apex. Let's say they're at the very top, they can't go any further. What can I do to leverage that point and move forward? So those are the things I just wanted to hit on today. I've been talking about a lot about AI and automation, the new skills that are going to be required going forward, or that are basically inevitable or always timeless of critical thinking, complex problem solving, data literacy, data analytics, innovation, and strategic thinking. I've already done 2 videos, one on critical thinking, one on complex problem solving, what it entails. And no, I did a third video on complex problem solving with some specific questions, good questions that critical thinkers and complex solvers ask, right? You might want to take a look at that because if you're boasting about those skills, someone's going to ask you those questions and could potentially dampen the day, if you will. So, that's all I wanted to do is I wanted to just briefly touch base on the roles, and I'm going to go back one more time so you can see what those roles are. Here, right out of the gate, these are the jobs being enormously affected by AI and automation. If you're anywhere within that in this world, you need to think about what your next career is going to be. Either figure out how to leverage AI or AI is going to leverage you out of your industry. And then on this next slide, of course, if your job hasn't been listed, but the demands of your job are primarily made up of this kind of work, repetitive rules based tasks, large volume of data processing and analysis and reporting, looking for patterns and prediction, and of course, making decisions based on codified knowledge. You better start thinking about how you leverage this or be leveraged out by it. So that was my presentation for today, just a quickie. And I'm going to come back with one on data literacy and data analytics, which I happen to love. Imagine there's tools out there right now where you just drop in the file and it will do the same analysis exactly the same way. Think about how many mistakes are made in Excel spreadsheets, changing data, formatting data, coding data, and things like that. Well, there's apps out there. We just drop the data in. It's going to follow the rules. It'll do with the same exact rule every time and give you the data you need to be successful. So, with that having been said, it doesn't look like there's any questions here. I know. Here's what happened. Facebook changed their API today. It looks like there's going to be challenges this running live streams and especially scheduling live streams on Facebooks. Those little dirty guys, they got us right. So I know that this may not have gone to Facebook. I just read a few minutes ago, right before the broadcast, that that's changed. But hey, I'd love to see your questions and comments about this. Right, there's a lot of contrarian people worried about. Hey, What about security? Hey, what about releasing our data out there? Well, you have those same issues with people, right? People will have those same issues, but think about this here. This is more about you and less about your organization. How is this going to affect you and how can you start to think about preparing yourself, right? I call it the I call it the BP moment, right? The BP moment is the Brady Purdy moment. When Tom Brady got that tap on the shoulder and Brock Purdy got that tap on the shoulder, 2 NFL quarterbacks, they were ready to play. They were game on. If your boss gives you that tap on that shoulder, hopefully you're game on, you're ready to go. So have a great one. Um, and it was a pleasure sharing this time with you, and I hope you have a great day. Start thinking about this. You're be ahead of the curve, not behind it. Ciao.